Designing for Scavolini means thinking outside of the usual design box. Usually, when you work for a company, it is strongly focused on a specific market and asks you to work within its aesthetic framework, which is usually, almost always the prevailing aesthetic framework, that of modern design. So you're working with marginal differences within this framework. And that means working within a niche. Scavolini is different. Scavolini hasn't got a scrap of niche in its DNA. Scavolini tends to operate on a 360-degree basis, and that means giving the same weight to all of its customers, even if they all have differing opinions. Just as nouvelle cuisine isn't everyone's cup of tea, not everyone is happy to have a kitchen which resembles a museum, where, yes, it may all seem very precise, but you'd feel a bit uncomfortable pottering about with pots and pans. Scavolini requires the designer to understand and interpret the dreams of customers who may differ widely from each other. Absolute Classic was created with this vision firmly in mind. Absolute Classic is a design which could be described as classic with class. Classic because it remains the most universal style there is, and class because Italian quality is still the most universal message we can bring to the market. And Scavolini, being a company which has always known how to interpret quality and industrialization, is definitely a very interested part of all this. But this is where the trouble starts, because basically we are talking about classicism, we're talking about classic, but classic no longer exists. Classic was substantially a cultural system in evolution, which changed continually throughout history, and was seen as a formal system, which had since become obsolete. We have lost 2,600 years of evolution of thought and a system of style which was universal for all. The challenge we faced was that of starting again, of recreating the classic, rediscovering the appeal of a culture which can be rediscovered and relaunched, and building around it new models which could be in some way parallel and dual when compared to modern models, having the same level of precision and being just as much a product of design, because the classic design of Absolute Classic is an utterly modern one, and upon it we have built our dreams.